and welcome to A Wealthy Life. This podcast is part of a series that I'm going to be doing over the next couple of months where we're talking all things money. Money and why you need to manage it, the cost of not paying attention to your money, and how to become more financially confident and with that more financially secure. There will be a few podcasts in here that are directed to women because I have just created this Smart Woman's Ultimate Guide to Money and Investing. And so a lot of this content is in and around that topic, helping women to feel more confident about money and with that become more financially resilient. And that's good news for everybody, whatever your gender. So strap in and listen to me on this week's episode. So if you're ignoring your finances, you're not just losing money, you're losing your future freedom, your future security. And you must start taking control of your money now. And there's good news. You don't have to be an expert to do it. You just have to follow some very simple steps to get you there. Before I give you those steps, let me just talk to you about why people avoid some of these money decisions and obviously why that's going to cost you. I think the first thing comes to me is about this interconnected thing of fear, overwhelm, and a lack of confidence. And that keeps a lot of people stuck. And actually, they're almost all the same thing. So lack of confidence comes from fear. Overwhelm can come from fear and a lack of confidence, and all of it is rooted in a lack of knowledge. And quite rightly, you should feel fearful and overwhelmed and lack confidence if you do not understand money. But it is not complicated. It's maths. Okay, I've already lost you. I know that. And I know that I've lost you because I know how many of you tell me that you're not maths fans. I'm not asking you to solve cos, sine, tan, whatever that stuff was. I'm not even asking you to resolve an equation where x plus y equals z minus a or something. None of that stuff that we learned at school. We're back down to the basics, adding, subtracting, multiplying and dividing. But a lot of people have been so traumatized at school. Isn't this awful? And if you've got children, please, 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 whatever you do, it's not about whether you're scared of wasps and spiders. It's whether you're scared of maths that is going to affect the rest of your life. If you have children, please make maths fun for them because they'll end up like so many fearful adults. And that resolves around everything. If you are avoiding your finances, there is a real cost. And it isn't just stress. There is stress as well, whether you admit it or not. But it's the lost opportunities. It's missed savings, earning sufficient amount of money that they beat inflation. It's missed investment opportunities. And above all, if you listen to everything that I said last week, it's about financial insecurity later in life. 35% of women, when asked, said that they lacked confidence in investing, compared with only 14% of men. So men are more confident about investing. And confidence grows with education. Action grows with confidence. And there is no reason why women should feel a lack of confidence because they can access the same information as men. But somehow, maybe I believe, because I think everything comes back to our values, and having worked with a lot of women, women don't tend to have a word that means money or financial security in their values. Somehow we have been conditioned to see this as not important in our lives. Now, we're not back in the 1800s where our goal was to marry a rich man and he would take care of us for the rest of our lives. And men, your role wasn't to marry just some, titled woman or some pretty woman that would breed and help you keep the money within the family. We've moved beyond all of that nonsense. Now we need to be able to stand on our own 2 feet, whatever gender we are, become confident about money. And then when we come together in partnerships, be better off financially for our union rather than dependent on one or the other. And that's really why I created the Smart Woman's Ultimate Guide to Money and Investing, was to break down some of this lack of knowledge, to increase financial confidence, to remove fear, to educate you on how easily you can become more financially secure. You'll see a link for this course, which is free on YouTube, comes with an 80-page workbook and is all there for you, targeted at women, but for anybody to watch. So there's another problem with not taking control of your money now. Why people avoid it, we understand, because you maybe lack education. But actually, what about when you do know about it and yet you're still waiting? You're waiting to make that first investment because you don't understand two things: inflation and compounding. So inflation, we know that there's this word called inflation. We've had a cost of living crisis for years. But what does that mean in real terms? Any money that you save now, if the interest that you are earning is not equal to or in excess of the current rate of inflation, that money is reducing in real terms. So in 5 years from now, what your current £100 could get you in shopping or a meal out will not be the same in the future. And of course, we can already see a lot of the impact on price rises on food, on clothes, on petrol, on everything. But then there's this other thing, compounding growth. Do you know, if you just put £50 away into an investment from now until you retired, you would be better off than if you waited another 10 years. There is a piece of research that I used for my course, and I called them Early Ellie and Late Lucy. And Early Ellie, in the example, started retiring at the age of 30, and she just put her money away. And Late Lucy waited 10 years. And the difference, Early Ellie had almost twice the retirement pot. So you cannot afford to not start now. And of course, confidence is now going to kick in, and that's where it's going to affect you. You're not waiting for a perfect time. It's not about getting in there quick and then getting out and grabbing your profits. It's actually about putting money in there consistently and leaving it there for the long term, whether that's in stocks and shares or whether that's in the property market. I've made my money in the property market by being in there for a long term. I've gained through the profit I make on the rent, and I have gained over the years through the capital gain in the price of the house. Now, in stocks and shares, you gain through hopefully dividends, but also for the values of the shares in the long term. So don't miss out on the benefit of compounding growth. And it only compounds if you leave the money in there and you leave the interest in there and you keep reinvesting. So you've got to see this as part of a one-way direction for your money, that you're putting it away for the long term. That doesn't mean to say that you can't benefit from it sooner than in your 70s. You can benefit from it whenever you choose. And that's one of the techniques that I show as part of the course. I'll break down some more of those for you over the coming months so that you understand. So again, if you want to know more about this, make sure that you subscribe. And let me leave you with some quick things that you can do today, because I've said you need to take control of your money now. So let me share some nows that you can do. I already mentioned in last week's podcast that you need to look at the value of your pension. Generally, finding out your net worth is a powerful thing. Understanding what savings you have, what interest you're earning, what pension you might get versus what debt you might be carrying, whether that's credit cards, loans, or more obviously, your mortgage. So really understanding your financial position is a powerful place to start, and I would encourage you to do that. You know that if you've been with me long enough, there are plenty of resources in the Wealthy Life community that you can tap into, from spreadsheets to look at your income and your expenses, to spreadsheets to help you understand your assets and your liabilities. But if you don't look, you won't know. And if you don't know, you'll have that uncertainty. And that uncertainty can lead to lower confidence than you need to have. Knowledge gives you power, power gives you confidence. That's the first thing. Then the second thing is it's all well and good to actually automate your savings, but you need to automate your savings to a high interest account. So automated savings, all that means is that basically when your wages come into your account, you immediately send some off to your savings account. And I tackle this differently in the course because obviously I want women to build up their own financial resilience. So it's a bit more of a, not complicated, but a stepped approach when you follow the whole course. And as I say, there are diagrams and exercises for you to follow there. But in the simplest terms, when your wages come into your account, you need to be diverting some of your money into a savings account, and it needs to be that higher rate of interest, higher than inflation. Now, you can Google this, and I think that if you generally Google, you probably want to be careful about who you are investing in, what that company is. Remember that British banks have a guarantee up to £85,000. There are also a step more, or a step further, if you like. There are accounts that you can set up that are called cash ISAs, and that is a savings account that allows you to save up to £20,000 a year tax-free. Whatever you do, whether it is in a regular savings account that's earning high interest, or whether you put it into an ISA because you want to save on paying tax on your interest, particularly if you're a high rate taxpayer, you need to do something about automating your savings, but not automating them in an unintelligent way, automating them in an intelligent way. And if you are confident with money, if you do feel like you understand what you're doing, if you do know your net worth and you do have automated savings to a high rate account, potentially even an ISA, then maybe what you could be looking at doing now is starting out a simple investment account. I personally would take advice, and I have taken advice from my financial advisor, and I do it through my financial advisor. And again, if you're part of the community and you've seen the exclusive interviews, you will have met Jay. And I preferred to do it through there because I felt that I am going to get better use of my money and better use of my time by working someone who understands. But you can do this yourself. You can open a trading account, a stocks and shares account, stocks and shares ISA even, and be able to put money aside into the stock market. But I would suggest rather than picking individual stocks, what you want to be looking at is funds and how they perform, understanding your risk and making sure that you marry the two together. And think of this again as one of those sealed piggy banks. Once the money goes in, you're not taking it out. It is a long-term investment, but you probably need financial advice there. I'm not giving financial advice. I just want you to know that financial freedom is a reality. I want you to have a plan. And ladies specifically, I want you to go and watch The Smart Woman's Ultimate Guide to Money and Investing. It's a complete roadmap that's going to increase your financial confidence, enable you to be wealth building, and provide you with financial resilience and security like you've never had before. As I've said before, there's nothing stopping the men listening to. I don't want you to wait another year or even another month or even another week to start taking control of your money. You need to be in financial control. And I can say this to you because although you might be somebody who is thinking of investing in property, from all the people that I have spoken to that come to me wanting to speak to me about investing in property, they still aren't always in financial control. Some of them might know and have a spreadsheet about their income and expenses, but knowing their state of their savings, the state of their pensions, all of that data that's really sits on the outside maybe of our vision, it's in our peripheral rather than in our focus. That's where the data lies. That's where the power lies. So there are going to be links in the show notes. You get to watch the YouTube course for free. And of course, what I want you to do is to keep listening to this podcast so I can help you to build your financial future. Until next week, thank you very much for listening. I hope that I've been able to put a bit of whoosh into your life and to show you why so many people avoid making money decisions and why that's unnecessary and the potential cost from that. To talk to you about inflation, to talk to you about compounding. Those aren't things that we have in our general conversation, are they? And it's certainly things that you need to do. I left you at the end of this podcast with 3 things that I wanted you to do. Find your net worth. That means your savings, your pensions, your income, your expenses, and your liabilities. I want you to set up some form of intelligent, automated savings. So a little bit of your money just goes off into a high rate interest account. If you're a high rate taxpayer, make that an ISA. Not financial advice, of course. And of course, if you are ready and you want to just get involved with the stock market, it's a very simple thing to do to open your own account and invest in a high returned bond. But what I would say to you is get financial advice. And of course, above all, you know that I have so many resources available to you now from the Wealthy Life community, all of my books, all of the back episodes of the podcast, particularly if this is striking a chord with you. Go back to those podcasts that I released round about Christmas 24. I think it might have been the 19th of December, the 26th of December, and the first one of January for 2025. We'll put the links in the show notes and they will take you through getting your money mindset right and really put you in a position to get the maximum benefit out of this podcast series. I look forward to speaking to you next week. We're going to be talking about the fear of investing and how to overcome it. Thank you very much for listening.